Okay, I'm going to show you how to do your up and overs. This is a really great shoulder mobility exercise to help open up the chest. This is one of the warm-ups I like to use to help work on posture. What you're going to need is you're going to need either some kind of strap. You can use a towel at home, a belt, or a stretch strap if you already have it. I actually like to use a really light resistance band. This is one that you've probably seen me use for a lot of my other exercises. It's a little bit more dense than your traditional exercise band that you get at your traditional physical therapy clinic. This is the lightest weight that you can get if you go on Amazon and look for a pull-up band. So I'm going to choose to use the resistance band for this, and I'll kind of explain why during the exercise. So this is a shoulder mobility exercise, but what is important is kind of your starting position or your posture. You do want to have your core engaged a little bit. What you want to avoid as you're bringing your arms overhead is you want to make sure that your core is engaged enough that you're not sticking your chest up and out. As you can kind of see here, that really exaggerates the curvature of my back or my spine. So I want to make sure that my core is engaged as best as possible so that I remain upright as best as possible to minimize that overarching of the back. The second thing that you want to remember for this particular exercise is that you want to make sure that you don't let your shoulders pop up. It's a real good way to aggravate your upper trap in your neck. So you do have to actively depress or push the shoulders down during this exercise. So you're going to take that band, you're going to just hold the ends, elbow lock straight, so that way you keep the motion isolated into your shoulder. Once you start to bend the elbow, you'll start to notice that we're getting a little bit too much of the rotator cuff in. So best to just keep those elbows as straight as possible. And what you'll do is you'll pull the band apart. So because this is a resistance band, there's going to be a little bit of give to it, which is what I want. If you're using something a little bit more static like a belt or a towel, you still want to have that sensation that you're pulling the belt or the band apart, even though you're not going to get any movement out of it. So you're going to lock the elbow straight, give a little bit of tension through the band, core slightly engaged. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring your arms up and then over and behind you. You're going to feel a little tap on your butt, and then you'll bring it right back up and over. Okay? So the reason why I like to have a resistance band versus something that's a little bit more rigid and static is that when I'm getting up overhead and I'm passing overhead, I tend to want to actually draw my arms out a little bit more. It's just a little bit more comfortable for my shoulder, and it really helps open up the pecs a little bit more versus if my arm was stuck at this 45-degree angle and I'm trying to bring it behind me. Either one is correct. I just choose to use a resistance band because it's going to be a little bit more comfortable as I go overhead so that I can get a little bit wider. My elbows stay straight. I tap. My arms go a little bit narrow as I come down, up again, widen. I head overhead, and then I can let it go narrow again as I come back down. So that's going to be our up and overs for your shoulders.